Sharp tackle. So that's Tekla. This is Tuva. This is Korea. Let's move just up a little, Dad. That's right here. Right to here. Good. Okay. Good. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about breed preservation again. As everybody knows, I'm a preservation breeder. And so we preserve genetics while we raise our Elkhounds. Our whole goal is to preserve the old lines, the working lines. And Tuva, everybody's seen Tuva before, but she's just such a magnificent dog. Tuva and Tekla were twins, and they've been with me. I sat with them both when they were born. I sat with Korea as well. Korea is Karu and Kalia pup. Now, Tuva has just finished cycling, and she was bred to Karu, the father of that pup. Now, I'm really hoping that she catches. I cannot guarantee that she will, but I'm hoping that she does. And Tuva has always been a little bit of a trouble to get bred. Come up here, Tuva. But we're going to hope for the best, and I believe that she caught. She really likes Crew, and they had 6 hookups, so it was a very, very good breeding. So that's a lot of hookups. So we're happy about that. Now, of course, we're excuse me. We're up here on social isolation, of course. We're doing our social distancing while the COVID thing's going on. I think it's about the 7th of April. And so that's what we're doing up here. But Tuva, I want to talk a little bit about why breeders would never have bred Tuva at this stage of the game. We've tried about 6 different times to get Tuva bred. She had 2 litters, and then we couldn't get her bred. Now, most breeders, they would stop trying after the 2nd time, if they go that far. Most just dispose of genetics like they're made somewhere. And they don't understand that there is only a finite amount of genetics, and the minute you start getting rid of them, you're shortening the gene pool considerably, and even with keeping Tuva, your gene pool still does shrink each time, of course. But lots of breeders would just say, well, you only keep the fertile ones. Well, that's nonsense. You factor in all the factors of a dog, and you take into all consideration. Maybe it had nothing to do with the female. Maybe it was the male. And the fact that Tuva's had 2 litters and can catch and can raise pups, then of course she is capable. And maybe it was the males that were not doing the job. So you can't fault the female in every case. But the bottom line is, in order to be a true preservation breeder, you cannot get rid of genetics until the very last second, of course. Now, why not breeder? Where's she going? Why wouldn't I try, right? So you just keep on trying, because you do not want to lose any aspects. Now, even though these 2 are twins, and even though Tekla has good litters and catches every time, and I have a daughter of Tekla's, the genetics are just a little different between these 2 females. They're not identical genetics when they have pups, and this dog now is going to be bred to a completely different male than I bred this one to. So we have a brand new, unique genetic set coming out of Tuva. Now, when I talk about all the aspects of a female and everything that's required to make an exceptional female, all of the aspects of Tuva are superior. So you could take a look at any female you wanted to look at in North America today, any single one, does not matter which one, and outside of just the fact that she's hard to get bred, Tuva would excel on every area for every female in North America today. She has the absolute best handler focus of any dog on this continent. She has one of the greatest pack mentalities of any female anywhere, and her ability to stay focused with the handler is just so incredible. It's not even funny. Her conformation, her style, her looks, her height, weight, I mean, you name it. This is the model female. And her loyalty is so beyond compare that it's not even funny, right? This dog lives to protect me, to be with me. And I'll tell you the other thing that's so unique about Tuva. Tuva is what's known as a lieutenant. For me, I call them lieutenants. So Dakota, he runs the show, and he's got his lieutenants. And Tuva's his top lieutenant now. Used to be Tora. Tora's getting old. Tora says, Tuva, you take over for a while. Tora comes in if he needs help. But if any of the young males are going to give Tuva or Dakota any FaceTime, and I mean, if Tuva's and Dakota are sitting right over here, and one of the males, and I'll use Tico, if he comes up, he gets in 12 feet at Dakota, boom, Tuva hits him, and hits him hard, and tells him, get hustling out of here. And if Dakota has to turn loose on somebody, Tuva's right beside him. She's right in there. She's full tilt pack dog. She understands her role, and that's to help the top male. And she takes it serious, and she does not fool around. And so that's one of the things too about getting her bred, is she classes all the other males at the bottom. Dakota's the top. Now, for whatever reason, she likes to move a little bit when she's getting bred, and she's a little tough to hook up with. And Dakota, by the time I went to use him, he was not able to keep up to her and hook up. And it's just the way it is, right? You've got to be fast, you've got to be agile, you've got to be bouncing, boom, 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 right? And he just wasn't able to hook up with her. She would have hooked up with him just about every time, but nope, that's okay. We're just sit down nice. So anyway, what Carew brings is he's no threat to Dakota, and he brings all this young exuberance to the whole dynamics. So Tuva doesn't see him as a threat and doesn't see him as a lower class male, and actually likes him, really, really enjoys him. So thus I was able to match him up with her, and she didn't chase him away. She played with him, had fun with him. But you put her with, like with Jaeger, for example, or Dogger, or those boys, and she's pretty mean to them. She doesn't want to hook up with them, and so she's very loyal to her Dakota, I'll tell you. But because Carew doesn't pose a threat yet, she potentially could drop eggs for him, and we could get a really, really good litter out of this. So I'm very excited about that. Now in preservation, you've got to keep as much genetic material in the whole game as you possibly can, and especially this good genetic. Now the background of these dogs is a who's who of the world-class Elkhounds of the world. And the Norway lineages that are in here are the very best there is. There's UK bloodlines in here, there's Sweden bloodlines in here, and now with these pups coming out, of course, this is the very best bloodline out of Finland. And so, wow, you get incredible pups coming. So very, very cool. So we're excited about this litter. But as a preservation breeder, of course, this particular dog right here is the farthest outcross dog to North American lines that you can pretty much get, because Karoo's bloodline was never used in North America, and Tuva's father was only ever used by us, and he's one of the very best from Norway. So there's an extremely good background here, and this is a blood set, a genetic set that just doesn't come along, right? They're very, very hard to get. Now, tragically, their mother had an accident, and it was a mistake on the vet's part, but it was, so be it. She passed. We lost her, and so what happened there was tragic, because I would have kept some of those dogs, and for whatever reason, the two sisters from these two girls, I am having trouble getting them bred too. So we struggle a little dab there with whatever occurred in the mindset of these girls. Now Tekla, she comes out and cranks out 10 right off the bat, right? Her first litter. So a highly prolific female. And catches any time I put her in front of a male. She just catches. So Tekla's amazing. Her daughter, amazing. So her sons, amazing, right? They're just stud dogs. So it's pretty phenomenal. So Mon, of course, is the son of Tekla. Now, Tuva's got Artemis as a daughter, and Torleaf, Loki, Norris, and Indiana. And her males are unbelievable. Her daughter is unbelievable too. But we're hoping to get some Karoo pups out of this. Hey, Korea, come by me. Korea, come. Can you come? She's sitting in the sun there. I'd like to pull her over here, but I don't think she'll come. She's got a nice sunny spot in the grass there. So we're hoping we got a litter coming. I'm really excited. And we've got people calling now. We're probably going to see the bulk of North America switch to a lifestyle that's out in the bush, hiking, walking, away from the crowds, and trying to get out of close density of people, and starting to move back to a healthy forest where the birds are chirping, and you're in isolation and you can have some fun. So I do believe that people are making a switch already. I've got people calling. It's quite surprising. They understand they got to change their ways, and they have to look at a new way to get their exercise, and a new way to protect their health, and a new way to occupy their spare time as well, and their kids. And so we are seeing that. It's not just me talking about it anymore now. The people that are calling are telling me, hey, they got to change. They got to get out. They got to get away from this high density environment, because it could be months and months, years, who knows, for this social isolation. But I think the world is going to change quite a bit in terms of all that. So I'm really hoping that she catches, because I got people that want these pups. So if you're wanting one of these, get a hold of me, because this is probably one of the very best litters that we'll ever have. And I can't say as she'll catch, but if a person had to get a dog, if a person was looking to get an Elkhound pup, this is the litter to get one out of, because it's the very best Elkhounds there is in the world today. There's no compare. So very, very good hiking dog. Tuva has never been on a harness. I've never had a harness on her. I've never had a collar on her. She's went with me everywhere in the world that I go, and she just stays right beside me. And Tekla, I've had her on lead a little bit, but Tuva, she's never required it. I find that fascinating too, and I can hike remote terrain all day long with Tuva. and she's always right beside me, right where I am. She goes, this is an exceptional dog. One of the most beautiful dogs in the world too. This is exactly, and I mean to a T exact, what an Elkhound female should look like. This is it. This is the best representation of an Elkhound female you'll ever see, is this dog. The mask, the ears, the tail nest, the legs, the markings, the size, the demeanor, you name it, this is it. The courage, the fearless nature, absolutely everything. The loyalty, the behavior, the handler focus, you cannot beat this dog in any way, in anything. She's absolutely perfect. Maintains condition, never goes out of shape, never gets fat, just identical all the time. Beautiful coat on her. Blows her coat out in a second. Takes nothing to brush her out. And just an amazing dog. And this is the true working coat you see. See, no, you just stay down. I'm talking about this coat here for a minute. See, this is not a show coat. This is a work coat. See, the longer, darker guard hairs, they shed way more water. They shed way more snow. They keep the mud off, the debris off. And the longer, darker blacks up here, that's more of the guard hair is black. It's coarse. It's an extremely good coat for this kind of condition. This is a perfect coat. She's got the right feet. I mean, everything about it. Look at this mask. You can go in bright sun. Snow blindness never bothers this dog at all. Look at this. I mean, football players, they've been trying to do this for years, right? This is what a mask looks like. This is what a muzzle looks like. This is the perfect plane for the heads, the same size. Look at the line here. Look at this. I mean, perfect right there. This is supposed to be the same to this line. It's identical, right? Tuva's length from her chest to the ground is exactly the same as her chest to the top of her back. They're identical. She's just such a flawless dog. She has absolutely everything that you would want to see in an Elkhound. This is a perfect, absolutely flawless dog. She's a little tough to breed, but outside of that, wow. Tail, absolutely perfect. Everything about, and everything I say about Tuva, Tekla's identical too. Tekla and Tuva are the same. Tekla's feeling a little bad because I haven't used her name. Now, that little runt over there, she's flawless too. Little Korea is flawless. Absolutely unbelievable. So yeah, I wanted to talk about Tuva and show Tuva off. Tuva's such a good dog. Tekla, you're a good dog too. You guys are good. So these are my twins, Tekla and Tuva. All right, good video. Let's go, girls. Let's go. Good. Let's make a move. Let's make a move, girls. Good. Nope, hey, just hang on. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, that should be pretty good.